The following is a presentation of the St. Louis Chess Club.
Hello everyone, and welcome to our broadcast of the Summer Chess Classic. I'm Yasser, and I'm here with Begim.
Hi,
Begim!
Yasser.
Wow, we have been having
Yep.
a lot of fun.
I know.
The rounds have been going
great.
just like that, and
Exactly.
the action is fantastic. Let's jump right into it and tell us about the standings.
Absolutely.
Group A, Begim, do the
Group
honors.
A standings, when we ended the broadcast yesterday, it had to look differently.
Of course.
Unfortunately, Benjamin lost his game, which was totally winning against Pranav, and now Pranav is tying to first with Nikolas, Theodorou, and Benjamin is right behind them with 2.5 points.
A shock turnaround for sure. Tell us about the
absolutely.
standings in the Group B.
Group B, so far, Andrew Hong and Akshat Chandra, they're tying to fourth with 3.5 points out of 4, and they're having a great tournament, both of them. And Semyon Lomasov is right behind them with 3 points.
Blazing hot scores in that group. And tell us about the format for these two events.
This is two 10-player round-robin tournament, 90 minutes for the first 40 moves and 30 minutes for the rest of the game with 30 seconds increment throughout the game.
Nice, and the schedule's pretty straightforward, but
Absolutely.
let us know what's happening.
We have games every day, no rest days, and then today is round 5. And we might have, if it's necessary, playoffs in the end of the tournament.
Wonderful. Tell our audience what they can expect from the pairings for today's game. Let's start with Group B. Group A. Sorry.
You're good,
Where did
Yasser.
that come from?
Group A. We, as usual, we have great players, and every
Yes.
day it's exciting to watch all of the games. But we have our key matchup, which is Nyzhnyk versus Pranav. They both are great players, and it's absolutely going to be a stunning game.
Illia has drawn all of his games. Pranav, of course, one of our tournament co-leaders. Let's just take a gander at the position currently on the board. And Black's last move was the move knight d7. I've often talked about this when a player is facing a pawn storm. One of the best ways of facing the pawn storm is to get out of the way. And it's
just now he played G5.
He played G5, and okay, White's just expanding, getting some space. He'll likely want to follow it up with H4, H5. Always in these kinds of positions where the rook and the queen are on the same file, you always have to look at the jump knight d5. A move earlier, it didn't work. Take it, take it. Now
If
you think
take
you've got
bishop b5.
Exactly. You think, okay, I got a really nice pin going on. The queen is unprotected. If the queen were protected, for example, by the bishop, there would be rook takes, and this combination would work. As it stands, the result, an exchange down, is actually slightly better for Black. Nonetheless, it's something that you think about, and you always, always have to be carefully attuned to the move knight d5.
Absolutely.
Tell us about the pairings for the, I'll get it right this time, B group.
Group B, we have very young, talented players, but today our key matchup is Lomasov versus Andrew Hong. Andrew Hong is leading with 3.5 points, and Semyon is right behind him with 3 points. It's going to be a great game for sure.
Interesting line scores. Semyon starts 2-0. Andrew has done the hat trick, though. Won his last 3 games. Let's jump into that game and let's take a gander at what's going on there. When we were just coming into studio, doing the rehearsal, and exactly at this point, I was expressing the idea that I like White, I like the extra space, I like this pin, and I hate being in pins. So one of the things I might have been agreeable to is to trade some pieces off the board, including the queen, and just accept the fact that I have one weakness.
It'll be fine. But as I told you,
They're fighters. They're not going
they're
to
fighters,
acquiesce
and
to.
I thought
slightly
Andrew
worse.
wouldn't exchange the pieces.
Right. The other thing that I have to be, again, as black, I'm always incredibly sensitive to these exchange sacrifices.
And now we can see the players on our screen.
Oh yeah,
Andrew is thinking.
And just a second, let me refresh my board, and it seems like we do have some more moves. Yes, we do. I apologize. Bishop takes e6, f takes e6, d4. Okay, let's go. Takes, e5. Let's go. By the way,
I'm
one
not
of
sure
those,
about rook d1.
one of those tactics that you know.
Oh, he wants to exchange also, but just a pawn up. Let's
winning
do
a
pawn
pawn. Rook d1 takes, and we've caught up with the players. And I must say, as far as Andrew's concerned, I think black has accomplished his goals in the opening. He's got a safe king. He's got his fair share of the center. And his pieces are effectively developed. Maybe this rook will slide over.
Now rook can go to e8, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not doing anything with
On d8, and I think everything's okay. These players have been fighting hard.
Yeah.
Begim, let's be very, very clear. We've seen some great clashes. What are they fighting for? Start with Group A.
Absolutely. We have great prize funds for the tournaments, and Group A, first prize is $6,000, second prize is $4,000, and third prize is $3,000, and the rest of the tournament also gets prizes, with the total prize fund of $22,000.
Pretty nice, very handsome. And tell us about the Group B prize.
Group B, first prize is $4,000, second prize is $2,500, and third prize is $2,000, with the total prize fund of $14,000, and all the players are going to get some prizes here as well.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you, St. Louis Chess Club. And there we see a view of the playing hall. The St. Louis Chess Club is undergoing
Chase.
Yeah, construction. They are actually just playing down the street very closely. There you see the man in the lavender shirt walking by.
I wonder
Caleb.
who he is.
He's part of our production team.
Yes,
How is it
he's
possible?
working hard.
He's not working hard. That's the whole point. He seems like he's just taking time out to stand in front of the cameras. What are producers for? Not
He
to
just
stand
wants
in
to
front
be
of-
on screen as
I
well a
think
bit.
so. I think that was what it was all about. Begim, let's jump into the game.
Absolutely.
We'll deal with our marquee
But
matchup
first,
right now.
also, we have a result of the day.
Yes, we do.
First
we
result
do.
of the day, which is Elshan versus Alexander Landerman. I'm truly upset about Landerman. I don't know what's going on. I hope he's doing all right. Unfortunately, he lost his game against Elshan, which was a quick game as well. Let's take a look.
Exactly. Well, Landerman actually had won this event, I believe, in 2022. So he
He's a
loves
strong
playing,
chess
and
player.
he loves playing in
Absolutely.
St. Louis. Bishop b5 check. Okay, so Elshan kind of plays. Oh boy, I should know that it's like the nota boom variation, but a reverse. So it's from a kind of a Queen's Gambit accepted, where White gets these two protected pass pawns on the queen's side, black gets these two pawns in the center, and the imbalances are really, really sharp.
G5.
Oh dear.
I hope it was his preparation, but as Krishnan said, Yasser.
Yes,
Someone
pawns don't
told me.
move backwards. I think everybody and his brother has played bishop d6 here. Usually you don't want to commit the pawns too soon, but on a good day, what you often try to do is go e5,
Absolutely.
e4. The
It
move
seems like he's tilted.
well, I don't think it's terrible, and I actually even think that this has been played before. I've seen these kinds of very sharp moves in similar positions. The problem is always, 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 I say it constantly, time after time, you have three goals, that's all. Just three goals in the opening. Don't get stressed about this or that. You have three goals. You want your fair share of the center, you want effective development for your pieces, and you want a safe king. So, when you play the move g5.
It literally takes
Number 3 goes out the door because guess what? You are not castling queenside. You do not have shelter there. You're not castling kingside. You just played the move g5. Your king's going to stay in the center. And it's a responsible decision.
Absolutely.
I just want to say g5, well, and now I'm confused. If you're going to play g5, I would have thought that the follow-up
G4.
was intended g4.
But the problem is that knight e5, and I'm threatening knight c6 and then knight d7.
Exactly. I'm almost forced to take.
Bishop g7 most probably.
Well,
Here?
I'm playing for development.
Even I can go back, right? Bishop,
of course.
Bishop c3, bishop b2, let's go.
I assume you don't want to trade.
Not
So
yet.
bishop b2, and what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to play? But if I played g5,
Yeah.
why didn't I play g6?
I agree with you.
If I played g5,
You need to follow up.
right? So he didn't.
That's
played.
why I have a feeling either he's like missing, he cannot remember his lines, or he's just tilted and he's just making moves. You know, especially when you get tilted in classical tournament, that's
Yeah.
the most horrible thing ever can happen.
Right.
Just
Wow. Okay. Again, I find the move queen c7 rather puzzling. Now that you've, gained control over the e5 square, so that the knight could not hop to e5. Once again, g4. And I'm not saying I'm a fan of Black's play, but I'm saying that this seems like the consequence, consequential decision. Queen c7. Well, Elshan had seen enough. He said, "Let me take the pawn." The difference, now that he's included queen e2 and queen c7, is he's got this clever little move, and any hits means that g2 is covered. You don't win back the pawn. I think Black's in trouble. Okay, Lenderman has put bank on the break e5.
maybe time to castle.
Yeah. Pause here for just a second, and once again, we go back to our 3 goals of any opening. You know, center control, effective development, king safety, and that's it. That's just it. King, wow, king f8. Oh my goodness. Geez.
If it's his preparation, it should be great.
If it's preparation, it ain't great. I think I'm going to take king f8, at least in this.
That's the idea, most probably.
I've got at least plans of.
And bishop f4 is the threat as well.
Exactly. Rook e8, bishop f4, d5, d4, king f8. Okay. Well, we know Alex has lost the game.
Yeah.
So.
But maybe it could be his still preparation and he just, messed up in one move or something.
This move looks crushing. Why? The idea is as simple as it looks. I just want to take the pawn. I want to take the pawn and I want to play queen f3. That's it. Knight takes d5, knight takes d5, queen f3, thanks to my play on this diagonal,
And
I'll
then
win back the
f7
piece.
is a weakness, queen h5, h7 is a weak. If you take on f4, actually, you're opening up e, diagonal e, and then I can actually take on d5, maybe after taking. And the idea is that knight h7 and then
force
taking,
you to walk into a very nasty.
I'm not sure if it works like that, but I could take on f4 first, threatening knight d5, knight h7, which is a checkmate.
The problem that I'm having here as white is I don't want to see the move d4. So, for example, hold on. When did we take on? If we take immediately here, and you know what I'm saying. There's no.
Absolutely, I understand, but
Right.
I'm just saying the idea.
Right. Of course. This looks terrible. Takes on f4. Takes on d5 as advertised. Well, it just happened that way. Sorry.
Yeah,
I mean,
so I don't think we're winning this.
completely. Oh my gosh, I think it's terrible. He didn't take that. I find that interesting. He played Queen F3. Oh, takes Knight E7. That makes sense. Okay, Queen F3 immediately. I thought.
After taking,
Yeah, but this is the same principle. You're getting killed on the diagonal. Any knight landing on B6 is going to invite A5. Queen B7.
That's
Rook
crazy
D1.
how we predicted the game, right? Knight
Oh,
D5,
even-
Knight H7 ideas.
Oh, even more terrible. The knight actually comes. I thought B6. Pardon me. I thought you were going to hit B6 with the move A5, but knight F6 is with a tempo. Check. And by the
he
way, that
resigned.
resigns on the spot. No. Oh.
And then he makes fast move. I don't know what is going on with Landerman.
He's just, as you said, on tilt. And
It feels like it.
sometimes you have this lightning bolts that just strike, and you just have this beautiful streak, and you go, oh, wow, that was wonderful. How do I do it again? You know, sometimes you get the other,
It's
you
the
know, like,
opposite, right?
yeah, everything
Lightning
you
strike
do
and put
turns
negative.
terrible. And that was terrible. Okay.
It feels like his opening ideas are not working, and his game, like his mindset is not there.
It seems like Alex is definitely not doing very well. I'm just going to
Absolutely.
refresh the board here. I was going to go to Illia's game. So let's go back. We left it after G5. Boom. Rook E8. Queen F2. Now, to me, when I see this move, Queen F2, by the way, it absolutely telegraphs the move Knight D5 is on White's agenda.
I love playing such positions as White.
Because you like space?
I love space, especially when you can attack and they cannot.
Right. Tell me about the move Queen F2. Do you find that move attractive?
I do.
Why?
As you said, Knight D5 is coming.
Right.
And I'm controlling the black squares better.
Okay.
I'm most probably preparing H4, H5, and even in some cases maybe F5. F5 is a very
H4,
tricky.
H5, F5?
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's just like better coordination. After Rook E8, you don't want to have your king on E2 anyways.
You do, right, your queen on E2 vis-a-vis the rook. Yeah. But okay, what I'm really asking you, Begim, is long term, you like space, you like to attack, so let's do it, let's go, right? But why does Queen F2 in your mind fit into your attack? What is it about the move Queen F2? Do you
And
say,
then-
I'm going to go Queen F2 to H4 to G?
Actually, I have a game. Like
Please.
I put maybe Queen G4, not F2, and then I played Knight E2, Knight G3, Knight F5 or H5. And it was like, it was one of my favorite games and still is because
Who was your opponent?
Torre.
Eugene Torre.
Yes.
From the Philippines.
Absolutely.
Grandmaster Eugene
I
Torre?
adore him as a person. And
Right?
I was so excited to play him, and we had similar structure. I was like, I'm doing these things and it's working.
Right.
And slowly I started to beat him, and then my calculations work. I'm like, there's no way. Wow. Because I was so excited to play him. I didn't even imagine winning
that you
him.
would win.
Yeah. He's just like one of the best,
legends.
First
Asian
Grandmaster.
Absolutely. By the way, in case you didn't know this, one of the great singers in the chess world, Eugene Torre, has an incredible voice.
Really?
Yeah, he serenaded me in Hyde Park in London. And he sang to me Frank Sinatra's My Way. I was overwhelmed.
Ooh,
it was
wow.
so good.
I didn't know that. We have a very close relationship with him, and then his wife, she's lovely
Marlene,
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like your move Queen G4, which preps, as you said, Knight E2, Knight G3, and let's go. I find the move Queen F2 strange for the very simple reason that I don't know if E2 is a better square than F2. So in my mind, I would play a move like H4, h5, and later I will determine whether or not g4
or f2.
or f2, or gosh knows, maybe g2. I mean, it's a strange thing. And
Karpov loved to put bishop f3, queen g.
exactly. And also a rook lift, right?
Yeah.
So for me, the move queen f2 is a little puzzling. Queen b8. Now this, again...
I have a feeling he's just like trying to control b6 square. I don't know why. Or c5 now it comes to c5. Sometimes in these positions, even the engine can say, oh, you should do this, you should do that. The problem is that if you're too aggressive, you can end up after d5 or e5 or b5, you can end up in a totally
bad
lost
position. Yeah. Again, we talk about telegraphing your moves, right? So I sidestep knight d5, but for me, Black is saying, I want to play b5. So let's see what you're going to do.
Great. Knight d5.
Wow,
okay.
Look at this.
Oh, that was his
Wow.
idea. So he's putting the queen on f2 so he can attack with the e pawn and then just exchange it.
Yeah, okay. Boy, I tell you, I would be very, very reluctant to handle this knight. Something like this, and playing a position like this would suit me a little bit better. Like,
Usually,
for example,
I don't like giving away the knights like that in these structures. Usually, you don't have anything to attack with after. Knight needs to go to f5.
He took.
He took.
And
He
this,
accepted the challenge.
right, extends the diagonal of the bishop on g2. Now,
This version is better. The problem was if you don't take it, knight can stay on d5 because anytime you take, I take with the e pawn and then your bishop's stuck there on c6.
okay, but let's say just another perspective. Let's say I play b5.
Oh, then I can take it on e7.
Okay, and we take. So take.
Usually, I like such positions. D6
This
weakness
is-
without the bishop, it's always good.
Yeah, it stands out like a sore
now I don't
thumb
have
a
to
little
attack
bit.
you. I can go queen d2.
Queen to d2.
I'm not sure.
And-
BC maybe just. And how are
BC.
you? Is b takes c4?
These take
How are you
c4.
defending
Defending?
the b5?
Uh,
D6.
Let's
pawn.
say.
I
I'm
can
just,
take on d6. Yes.
I know. I'm just checking out the resulting position. I don't think I can use the b5.
You want to trick me?
I
I
do.
can see that.
I do, desperately, in fact. Knight c5 isn't working either. No, the pawn on d6 is, frankly, too weak in this variation. All right, he has taken, bishop a4. Okay, give me that, said Illia.
He's trying to get the squares.
Knight c5, f5. Now the inclusion of the move makes a great deal of sense.
Yeah.
If the queen was on e2, bishop g5 would be embarrassing.
Yeah.
And now, from White's point of view, he's a pawn up, he has the two bishops, and he's eyeballing f6. f6, if it lands on the board, well, we can sign score sheets.
Pranav being too optimistic about his position here.
Ooh, well, just a second.
played
But Black has a argument. Black is an argument. Black's argument is, I'm playing on the dark squares, kind of like a checkers game, if you will. Playing on the dark squares, and I'm trying to limit the scope of your bishop. Let's see if he's right.
Actually, he did a great move, which is knight d7, and knight comes to e5. And as we talked earlier, if you push the pawns, you can create many weaknesses. Now, after h4, can we go?
I'm kind of confused. He played the move knight c5, only to play 2 moves later, knight back to d5,
Yeah.
knight back to d7.
He just wanted White to play f5 and h4, now g4.
Oh, okay.
As we talked earlier, if you play h4, you're weakening the king, weakening the squares. So he's trying to trick his opponent somehow.
Okay, h4, knight d7, queen g3, and I guess that's it. Let me just double check by refreshing my board, and tell me your take. What do you think about the position?
I still like white because anytime I can play bishop f4 or bishop d4 and take on e5, I don't see any
reason
threat.
to object.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Like, it's always worst case, right? When you
Yes.
think about the position, you always like, okay, worst case, I can do that.
Well, in fact, let's just make a bad move for black, okay?
Absolutely.
Just so we can see what we might be talking about a minute.
And c5 is always a possibility.
C5.
If I,
bishop
for example,
takes.
I put rook e1, then I want to take on f6 and play c5. Maybe suddenly you have weaknesses there.
Absolutely.
And two bishops, we appreciate that.
We do indeed. So we just feel ourselves that Illia is for choice. And by the way,
He played
I
bishop
think
d4, I guess.
I think we have a different move. Let me just again, I'm just going to make a quick bishop to d8. Okay, so that is cheeky. Do you like this word cheeky?
I
It's
like
a little. Okay, bishop d4. We sidestepping rook takes e3.
I mean, he wants to trick him into like exchanging on b6, but still putting a knight on e5 somehow and protecting f6.
Right.
It's overwhelming for black, in my opinion. You cannot combine all the like ideas and then make weird moves like that.
Sorry, which bishop d8? You sorry.
Yeah.
Say that again. What?
Bishop d8. His
You
idea.
like this or not?
His idea is to play bishop b6. I like it, but like at the same time, he needs to protect f6, and then he cannot take with the knight because knight should be on e5. Even after the exchange, you cannot immediately play to e5 because f6 is hanging.
Right.
So if you take on g5, then knight e5 square is not as strong as it was. So
Okay.
he's trying to combine all the ideas to make it work. That's why he played b5. He wants to play bishop b6 and take with the queen.
Right. b5, but boy.
Which creates another problem.
Yeah, right? My mind is racing because whenever, it's a very simple principle. You have a pawn on d5.
Yeah.
What squares do the pawn attack? c6 and e6. Because I have a pawn on d5, I think, oh my natural outposts
Now
are
he's
e6
thinking.
and c6. If I could post a rook on c6, or if I could post a rook on c6, I'm golden, right?
Absolutely.
So-
and also we need to remember that he's pawn up and
To begin with.
exchanging.
So when I see this move b5, the first move that I look at is takes, and post the rook on c6. I think that the rook is like
I
super
also think I
good.
would play that and then wouldn't mind him taking on a4, but Illia took it with a pawn first.
Okay.
He's being a little bit greedy about that.
Well, I mean, he worked hard to get his extra pawn.
Absolutely.
He wants to take, and
He took it back.
Yeah. And now here's the moment of truth for
Most
Illia.
probably he will immediately take. Oh no, he decided to think.
Well, let's have a look-see. Takes. Now again, queen takes anything that. Oh, sorry, the rook is hanging. So you have to trade on c1 first.
And most probably he'll play bishop b6.
Exactly,
That's
because
his idea.
takes just can't be what Pranav has in mind. So he must be intending the move bishop b6.
He's still trying to play for the weakness of g5, h4 pawns.
Yes.
I think he's going for the king.
For the king. Yes, White definitely lifted his kimono on the king side there by playing g4, g5. Okay, well, I don't know. It's two pawns. Is it worth two pawns? I'm a little skeptical.
Logic says it shouldn't work, and then you're threatening, like exchanging the pieces, and you're not threatening as much.
Exactly. Just to pause here for a second, because I really do like White's position, but I think he's cashing in his chips a little bit too early. One of the things I really like about White's position is the two bishops, and in some ways I would rather avoid trading the dark square bishop if I can. And once again, let me just see this move. If I take, maybe he will take on c1?
Yes.
I guess so, right?
guess.
Take on c1. And maybe, I mean, if you want to take, my desire was to kind of to stop you from playing bishop to b6. Maybe it's this move, bishop b6, that is annoying me. I hate, and
He took
there
on
we do
b5.
have. So I'm going to refresh the board, and I'm just going to say Illia, currently 2 pawns up, but I think after rook c1.
Oh, he can
rook
play
c1.
immediately bishop b6. I don't know why we didn't consider that.
Once again, I think it's about this posting move.
I think he wants to keep the rooks though.
That's black.
Yes.
Okay.
Don't you think so?
I don't know. I don't have my grip on the
I know,
position.
you don't feel the players as much as I
completely.
do, right?
Exactly.
Yesterday,
exactly.
Pranav was making all the moves I was suggesting and got to losing position, but well, you look what happened.
I saw a game. Let's jump to the game of Nikolas for a moment, and one of our co-tournament leaders. He's up against
Aram.
Aram. And
Aram is white and Nikolas is black. So far, Aram is not having a great tournament, but not having a bad tournament either. He drew all of his games.
yeah.
He's playing a very solid chess, and it feels like he's down a pawn. But he has some pressure because knight comes to g6, threatening rook f8, checkmate.
Exactly.
It feels like he has enough compensation to make a draw again.
Well, let's go. I suppose we have to play rook takes a7,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
But that one I didn't like because of knight b5.
Correct. The problem with rook takes a7 is you give up your beautiful checkmating patterns,
That's right.
either with knight g6 to h8 mate or
Maybe
knight
rationally just taking and playing rook a4 would be fine. But like, I don't want my opponent to activate all of their pieces. Rook e4, for example.
Yeah, and
No, you can go back to knight f3, but
well, then you're kind of on the back foot a little bit. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's what.
Aram wants.
Yeah, if he had in mind. All right, we'll keep an eye on that. We're going to go to the game of John Burke
Would be my
and
Mishra.
Mishra. Do you like chess variants? Do you like to play, for example, loser's chess or suicide chess or atomic chess?
Actually, I
or
do
three-check?
not.
No bug
No.
house for you?
No.
No bug
I love Bughouse.
Oh, bug house.
It's just like, just to play it with
For
friends.
fun.
For fun.
Of course.
And then during one of the tournaments recently with our production team,
Yeah.
I was working at the juniors and seniors, they offered me to play only chess. Me, without knowing, I'm just playing and I asked them, guys, what's this? Apparently it's like you need to put the king on the center and they start you to march.
Yeah, king of
I'm
the
like,
hill.
I'm like, yeah, here we go. I'm like, where are you going with your king?
See?
And then they got checkmated.
Good. Get them.
I think they are very, very fun, and
Yeah.
Abhimanyu loves those things.
I do too. And the reason I asked you is because I like a variant called Crazy House. In that variant, when I capture one of your pieces, now I captured your bishop.
Yeah.
So now it's my bishop, and I can turn this captive bishop into my army, and I can use it. And one of the things in Crazy House chess is there's a queen on d1, and very often you want to trade pieces so you can have them in your hand. So you make a move like knight b2, and that's a pattern that is very common in Crazy House. And strangely enough, it's not that common in regular chess. Like, how often do you see a guy going knight b2, forking a rook on d1 and a bishop on d3 in order to achieve this, a trade of pieces?
In psychological level, it feels good, right?
Yeah, to make them, anytime you're pulling out a tactic. Okay, let's just take a look at this position. John Burke, with the white pieces, has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yasser,
1,
again.
2, 3, 4. He's a pawn up, my favorite living condition. Gets a little bit better than that. He also has two connected pass pawns on the queen side. That's got to be good. One drawback is the knight on h1. We would rather have
That's
it.
the question I wanted to ask. How did the knight ended up on
Okay,
h1?
well let's add. You
And
ask,
it has been there apparently for a while.
You ask and I will answer. The queen came and captured the pawn and drove the knight into this
I
abysmal
wonder, could I play
square.
king f2? Let's be active. I want to take on c5.
I don't know. Where do I go with this guy? I don't know. Just king f2.
But I'm threatening rook h1.
Okay, all you do is kick me home. Okay, I'm a pawn grabber. I will keep the pawn.
Maybe a4.
I'm not that much a fan of what I just did, but okay.
Ooh, now I can take on b5.
Yeah, you won your pawn back. Yippee-yay.
There we go. Yay! Happy life.
Happy life. Live long and prosper.
Knight takes b5.
Okay. I'll fall for it.
Mm-hmm.
You promised me rook h1, by the way, but you didn't deliver. You were
Now
you were
I can
trolling
play.
me.
Actually, now we can play, or I could play it before knight b5 as well, but
Okay, what would you like?
I can play rook h1. I will give
Okay.
you that.
Okay.
Sure.
Queen. Where should the queen go? Okay, queen f4.
You don't have any threats. That's
No.
lovely. Knight c7 maybe?
One player went knight b2 to take a rook. Now you're to take a bishop. Pardon me.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now you're going
I
to
love
play
it.
knight c7 to take this bishop. Okay.
I can
wait.
take on f4.
Wait. Let's get. You go away. You bother me. You bother me.
Oh.
You bother me. Now she starts.
Mm.
Okay.
That's the
I
problem.
got
We have a
Begim to
little
think.
problem.
What's that?
It's okay.
By the way,
Yes.
we have to promise our audience that we will be sharp and we will maintain our focus, because the other day you missed checkmate. And
Oh my God,
Raunak.
Yasser,
You
it
missed
was
it,
on
and
you.
it was-
Oh my God, that was terrible.
It was
You
shocking.
missed it.
It was
I feel bad for you.
right. Your shame. Never mind.
It's such a shame, Yasser. And then, guess what?
What happened
Immediately
then?
after the broadcast ended, my friend's texting me saying, yeah, I was watching it. And then she's like, for 5 minutes you were like guys talking about stuff, and I was wondering if it's not made in one, or she was like, am I missing something?
Right.
That was such a shame. We had to cut it.
We'll talk to the producers.
Yeah.
And when we archive,
it's never late.
never too late. Okay, this is how we. By the way, I just heard from the producer. I mean, he's like
They loved it. They were messing with us.
they loved it. Bishop to d3, and this is essentially John sacrifices h pawn to pick off some queenside pawns, and Mishra is putting a lot of stock into his attack, but I don't believe it. I think he's simply fighting for survival here.
Yeah.
If I'm in white shoes, I'm very happy to create a target by capturing any trades. I feel white is just winning.
Yeah.
You know,
it
any
feels
major,
like-
you take off the queens, and I get to.
Absolutely.
Do you know is it on your Spotify list, my hit song, Push 'em Baby?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the song Push 'em Baby? I sang a song, Push 'em Baby. And it's on Spotify.
Really?
Yeah, you can put it on your list. I'm not kidding.
No.
I don't think
You're
I get
messing with me.
royalties.
You're messing with us
No.
always.
The crazy part, I am not kidding. I'm in Germany. I'm on ski holidays, and I'm waiting for my party to come and join me because I'm too fast on the skis. I'm way too fast. And as people join me, one guy, he's coming down the mountain with shorts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not kidding. And he's grooving like this. And he's got the biggest ghetto blaster on his head that you can imagine. And the guy's just doing this. And he goes zipping past me, and he has Push 'em Baby on his music. I'm like, what? He didn't recognize me because I'm in goggles. I'm like the proverbial Iceman. This guy is doing his thing. It was
Yeah, so
it
you
was
have never
warped.
mentioned this before.
Come on, you should come to my parties.
I'm always there. But
It's a force majeure. Everybody who comes to the party has to listen
Perfect.
to Push 'em
Okay,
Baby.
I'll make sure to check that out. And also, apparently, we have a very interesting game going on. Raunak versus Dariusz. What's
the
going
heck?
on here?
Wait a minute. I mean, talk about.
And also,
Yes.
as usual, Dariusz has 35 seconds left. And then
Oh.
Raunak has 29 minutes. And as we saw earlier, Raunak plays fast. Even if you lose the game, he loses fast.
There's something to be
So-
said for that. Okay, so obviously this is a wonderful position for explaining how chess works. Forget about positional.
Yeah.
Forget about strategy. That has nothing to do with this position. This position is a complete mess, and it comes down to one thing and one thing only, and that's calculation. You just have to calculate. Either white's completely winning or completely lost.
It feels like
Because-
they are completely lost, but I wonder if it works though.
These pieces are frightening. And by the way, the last few moves, you said 30 seconds. So it looks like one of those King's Indian defense games where black has indeed crashed through on the king side. But getting to this position has cost him a lot of material. Did he run out of firewood? Sometimes you have an attack where it's like you're just missing
Yeah.
the last key element.
You're just missing a move, or like you're not on time. But it feels like
The
he
indication
needed a pawn on a7 to everything to work out, I guess.
for white. Yeah,
Yeah.
once you play a7 and you draw this rook away from the attack, that's an indication to me that the attack is a
Yeah.
fail. It's a fail.
It feels like black should have something, but if you, as you said,
It's
when
calculation.
you start calculating,
Yeah.
there's nothing.
So help me out here. I'm a pawn grabber, so I want to ask a salient question. Queen takes f3. What you gonna do?
Knight e3, knight e1. Knight e1 is an option too.
Takes.
This is not working. Queen g1 is coming back, absolutely.
Yeah. By the way, we also have another
And
result.
Dariusz had like 5 seconds. That's why he had to make a move. He just made a move. So, yeah, we have another result.
Let's go there.
Group B,
Group B.
our key matchup.
Yes.
Andrew Hong versus Semyon Lomasov. Lomasov is white. They made a draw.
Just a second.
It's the last one.
This one.
Yes.
Yeah. We left it.
D5.
You know, it's kind
That
of funny.
wasn't expected.
We've been talking about knight takes d5,
Yeah.
winning a pawn, the old, boomerang tactic, getting out of the pin by playing knight takes d5. We didn't see it in this version. He played d5. What? The rook protects the queen. What? No, white. Okay, now I'm really confused.
What are
Why
you
didn't he-
confused about?
Why didn't he take the knight?
Rook f8?
Rook f8, rook f8.
Probably. I should include. And then just take on d5. And then I
Queen
don't think you have a mate. King h2. Rook
Wow.
f1.
Normally speaking, I don't invite my opponent to force me to
Please.
walk the plank.
Enjoy my king.
Enjoy my king. No, thank you. I mean, I'll keep my business to myself. What did I? Sorry, once more. I'm missing
Maybe
something.
we're missing something.
Knight
Let's
takes
focus
d5.
right down.
Well,
Okay, if you take on d5 immediately, then queen e3 is coming, right?
And that's
Rook f2, then queen
embarrassing.
e1.
Correct. And that's just hopeless. That loses. So you have to take. Now I take. Now your queen is hanging.
And
You-
I have to take on d5, queen e3. king h2 is pretty much the only move.
Now this gets me immediately a perpet, but this
Are
gets
you?
me a very
Wait,
scary
how are
attack.
you making the perpetual? Queen e5 and
Check.
okay.
King
G-
h1, mate.
Yeah, king g1 is the only move.
Queen e3 check.
Probably
There's
it's
my
not
perpet.
working.
He didn't do that. I mean,
After
obviously.
rook f1, maybe he had some chances. I don't see perpetual for white, and then it feels like queen on e3 and rook on f1 seems great to me.
Seems great to me too. Takes. What the heck is this?
Probably he missed something. Probably black thought this position should be winning, but they forgot about something for sure. Probably queen f4 and queen f8, queen f5 idea.
Quite the Donnybrook. Donnybrook is an Irish word, and the Irish, bless the Irish, they have these marvelous festivals. But at these festivals, sometimes fisticuffs, and it's a group fight. Everybody's
We should go there.
That's a
Yasser.
Donnybrook, and this was a bit of a Donnybrook. Something got missed, but
Yeah,
both
I do
both
believe he
players.
missed queen f4, that the idea is to just rook is hanging on d2, otherwise queen f8, queen f5 is coming.
Just, sorry,
Yeah.
I have to show the people what you said. Knight takes d5.
Yeah.
It-
No, I'm
re-
saying that
repeat.
what happened in the game, queen f4 was missed by black. Otherwise, black could go to rook f4 and queen e3 and rook f1 position that we were talking about.
Sorry, Begim, we're off track here.
Okay.
Give me the move by move. What is it that you want to say? Or put in the moves.
Yeah, absolutely.
What are you trying to say that he should do?
Trying.
Who missed what?
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you that
Dad?
probably c4 and queen d4, queen f4 was the
You think
idea.
he missed queen f4?
I'm pretty sure that he forgot that queen f8 and then queen.
That's a perpet.
That's a perpetual, and then they're attacking. It feels like black thought that it's just like you don't have any moves. You cannot move the king,
Right.
rook, and then queen.
He'll just keep the pin,
Yeah.
and it's very unpleasant.
And most probably, otherwise, as we talked about,
yeah.
black instead of queen c5, they could go to knight d5 idea. So far, we don't see anything for
For
white.
Yeah.
If you play queen e4,
Which is a normal looking
then
move.
I can check and play rook e1
And drive the king further up
and
the
try
board.
to play. It feels good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like my king walking the plank and
yeah.
you're going up the board.
And it feels like we are not missing anything this time.
Right?
Or are we blind? Yes.
I'm worried about you.
I'm worried about you too.
I don't know, but what a fight! Great, and just the kind of game we would hope for two of our leaders, right?
Yeah.
You know, like that they wouldn't make a timid, tame draw. I'm just going to the game of
But Suren versus Justin.
Wang, and we have, well, bishops of opposite color, but that looks like a pretty healthy pawn, unless, no, I don't have, I was about to suggest check, and here, I don't have that because the bishop is coming. This is, I'm going to say, I like white's chances of winning this. A lot of times we dismiss bishops of opposite color positions as just making a draw, but
with rooks or any other pieces, it's always tricky. It depends who is controlling what squares.
absolutely. Jumping to the game of Luca and Brandon, well,
Oh, it was a huge mess. Brandon started off g6, d6, very ambitious.
you know, that was my, I did this so often as a youngster. I loved to do this as black and or white. I often played g3 with the idea of bishop takes c6.
Yeah, so
and I
you
often,
still play this with black against me.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you know I'm telling you the truth. And the idea is not necessarily that I want to win the pawns. No. What I really want to do is fix the queen side. Why? Because I actually want to go king d7 and king c7.
That's a nasty.
Right? Where since you don't have knight b5 check, and you don't have bishop a5 check, and you don't have ways of getting at my king's rather safe, and then eventually I get to play for f5. Let's see how it unraveled. Queen f6. This is all pretty standard stuff, at least for me.
Now, for me, it was a surprise. Why would you play queen g7, queen f6? But yeah.
It's preparation for the big moment.
And then apparently you have to defend h6 pawn. I'm like, interesting.
And to stop bishop g5 in many occasions.
Yeah.
Now, for the moment, the immediate f5 is not effective because the bishop on d3 means that the knight on d7 is a little bit in the way. By the way, king d8 is another way of getting to c7. Castles, king.
Yasser, it feels like you prepared Brendan today.
Well, or the worst of all possible worlds, Brandon's been studying my games.
Anyways, it also means you prepared it, right? All
a
the
generation
ideas are the
is
same.
being ruined under my watchful gaze. G3, G5. Wow. B6.
What a game so far.
F5.
Wow.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, wow. Things just heated up.
Knights are jumping around.
By the way, that knight on G2 kind of makes a
Terrible.
pathetic appearance, right? It looks to me.
I would prefer black, to be honest.
Me too, me too. And I'm a pawn grubber, so that's saying a lot.
Oh, maybe bishop a6 would, I'm not sure. Then bishop d3, right?
Well,
That's the problem. Okay.
bishop a6, bishop. I kind of like that. Great knight.
Yeah. You don't
Okay,
want to give that
lovely.
away.
Takes, takes. Ooh, well, we're still a pawn down. But, I don't know. These guys, whoa, 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 whoa.
I'm not sure if you should give away
a blunder. I think something went wrong here. Maybe, no, f3, knight takes you. Maybe white was just in trouble.
I think black's position is just better already.
Yeah, well, no question. Knight takes c4. There's a got you. If you dare play queen takes c4, I'll grab that pawn on f2 and grab the knight on e3. And we are up to date with the... No, we're not. And
We're far away, it feels like.
Just a second, just a second. Wait, whoa, whoa, whoa. My brain hurts.
Do you want to
here.
take on, yeah? That was my question. Takes on f4?
Takes on f4.
Rook e2?
Check. I have to take this way.
I thought you want to play rook e2, but it wouldn't work as well. Most probably Luka wanted to take on g5, to be honest, with the pawn. And show me what you can.
Well, I will. I'll set up a checkmate. Checkmate.
King b1.
King b1. Checkmate.
King c1. No, king a1. Let's go
Checkmate.
king a1.
King, sorry, king a1. Checkmate.
Rook b1. F3. Maybe I had to play F3 immediately, actually,
then
right?
I will take your rook.
Yeah, but I take on e4, you take on g5, h6, rook g8, h7. It wouldn't work anyways.
It's an extra piece. None of this happened.
Are we missing anything, Yasser?
What's going on today? We think rook takes e3, and it's such an obvious thing, right?
I mean, you can take on, take with the queen, with the rook, you gotta calculate stuff, right?
We are missing something because it has to be based on this. I don't
know. Oh,
know.
yeah, he can take on e3, knight e3. King goes to d2 most probably.
Okay, and then?
And then taking on g5. This is scary. Not for you.
Why? I mean, I'm a piece up.
g6?
I mean, pieces.
It's not working.
Pieces.
King
pieces.
e3?
Maybe, sorry, maybe you could go here.
Then you can take on g5.
Well,
wait,
h7.
wait a second. I'm not on time.
Maybe this is what he was worried.
Rook h6.
Yeah.
Knight h8?
I don't know. It's great stuff. Sorry that we kind of. Let me just refresh the board and tell us where we're at, because guess what? Knight takes, pawn takes, queen takes. Brandon said, "Look, your king is swimming naked here. What are you going to do?" And this looks really, really good for black as well.
I'm going to ask after the game, Brand, no matter how it ends.
The result, yeah.
And I'm like, why didn't you take on it? I will just text him.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
Well, okay, this move, rook e4, threatens to
Rook
win.
b2 is the only move, right?
I was going to say,
Queen g7?
you know, well, I'm not a fan, but I think that queen lurking.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I have a feeling he's not actually winning the game. Is it winning?
Might be, because that's a big majority, 4 versus 2, and these two pawns are, ugh,
Most
they're
probably
ugly.
they're not falling, that's the problem. And then I can be greedy and play rook h1. If you play rook e5, I play rook g5. And then I'm threatening h6. How are you
Dealing with this?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. How am I going to deal with this? Probably with my usual greed.
Can I play h6 immediately?
Yes.
I wonder. And then rook g5?
Yes.
h7?
Yes. And you've got this guy covered, huh? Gosh darn it. Yeah.
Maybe
I
you can
probably am making it. No, I'm not
No,
making
you're
a
not
draw.
making a draw, actually.
No. Weird stuff. Okay, well, let's see what happened. Again, I'm going to just refresh the board. Apologies for that. Rook e4. What's
I
the
have
clock times, by the way? They're very
Yes,
sharp.
Luca it has 6 minutes, unlike Brandon, who has only 43 minutes. He's
43
seconds. I'm sorry,
yes.
43 seconds, and he's making moves on his like last seconds, basically. And I have a feeling he just blundered queen g7 check. He forgot about it. He must, or he. Here we go, queen g7.
For me, the move queen g7 is a surprise move, because it essentially, the move rook e4 is a surprise move because it essentially allows this trade of queens, which I, as black, would rather not
Absolutely.
do.
At
I'd
least
rather
you check on it before and to escape it. That's why I have a feeling he would never do that unless it's a blunder.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, you
Look
know.
at him, he's so nervous.
And we do have some moves on the board.
Yes.
So I'm
they
just
are
saying, in this
exchanging.
position,
Now he needs to make a draw somehow.
I would find the moves I would find the move king b6 attractive. I would find the move queen b4 attractive, and I would find the move rook e1 attractive. For example, let's suppose we just had this ending. I'm not saying I win it 100% of the time. You know, king and rook versus.
Probably should take on d1.
Oh,
Yasser.
probably yes. I'm sure you're right.
But it doesn't matter at this point. Queen
Uh,
c1 maybe would be even a better choice.
Check. I'm not saying 100% I win it with black, but you know, I'm not sure I like this move rook e4. I think he's messed up a little bit.
He messed this up, but if he's like cautious enough, I guess, he still can stop the pawns on h7 or something. Then slowly play c4, king c5. Maybe it's his idea that he was in time trouble. He didn't have time to calculate, so he decided to go to a bit pleasant endgame. In his
Yeah.
opinion.
Okay.
We don't think so.
We
but-
don't know. We don't know. Rook h1. Interesting move. Let's check in with Akshat because.
Oh, Akshat is struggling a little
Big
bit.
time. Maybe he's just simply lost. I once lost this ending with these double pawns against Roman Djindjiashvili. It was a game that lasted
7 hours?
Oh yeah, much longer, like 9. In those days, they had these time
my
controls
God.
that kept
I'm
going.
so sorry.
Oh yeah.
Yasser.
It was
How
very,
did you
very,
play
very,
9
very-
hours?
They had these adjournments.
Okay.
They had these adjournments.
Oh, that's good.
And I was suffering throughout, but I don't think Akshat is suffering because I think he's just losing. I mean, he's got this really terrible knight ending in front of him. I don't like this position at all. Let's go back to our other tournament and pick up the pace here, because Dariusz
hasn't found
busted.
anything, it feels like.
Queen takes f3, h5. Ooh, that's a very nice move, queen f2.
That's a very annoying move, I would say. Even you're playing and your opponents keep finding the right moves, and you don't have the attack, and rook on a8, you wish to have different position, basically, right?
Exactly. By the way, this move by white, queen g1, really a very, very fine defensive move. Bishop takes g2, and I think that's
Basically,
it. Dariusz is busted.
Absolutely, the knight is trapped.
The knight is trapped, and you don't have any tickles, pardon me, you don't have any tickles on the rook, because the knight covers c4 and b1.
What a comeback by Raunak. He was having a hard, tough start.
And something happened in one of Dariusz's games earlier. Remember that game where we were going to have dinner with him? And it was like...
He played like 6 hours.
He missed the dinner. And it was a good dinner, right?
Yeah,
it was a really good dinner. So he... Not only did he have a bad he didn't even get the dinner that he deserved. Not good, not good. Let's go to the game of Illia and Pranav, because when we left it, Illia was a couple of pawns up, but we felt after bishop b6, I don't want to say there was sufficient compensation, but there was a kind of a compensation going on here. As you mentioned, well,
playing for weaknesses. That's the scariest part of like pushing the pawns. Once the position once the position opens up, it's just like you don't know what to do with
exactly.
them.
Well, that threat of queen takes h4 provoked queen g3, and now it's only one pawn. And again, the king's safety, the relativity of the kings, means that there is a compensation.
Slowly, black is trying to grab all the pawns, attacking the 6, g5, h4.
Exactly.
Not easy to play. It feels like you shouldn't have any problems playing white, but like not easy to play because you have to always like make sure that you're not dropping anything.
Well, indeed. And again, it's because of this vulnerability of the king side. I'm thinking, maybe it's wrong of me, but I'm thinking that white's last move by Illia has invited a repetition.
I think Illia wants to go rook c7 because he protected it.
Okay.
Good thing about white's position right now is that I cannot move the rook from the back rank because you're threatening rook c8 and then g6. That's the
help me. If I go rook e3?
For example, you rook c8. You want to go like that? Then you're like tied up totally.
Well, your turn.
My turn.
Your turn.
Queen g4.
Your turn.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Give me your pawns, baby.
Oh my God. Wait, even if you take the pawn, you're still tied up. Like, okay, I can go queen g3.
But it's, I mean, you know, it's just
like
one
eternal torture. It's okay.
One little pin. What you gonna do? I'm gonna take a pawn.
Queen g3.
But now you don't have that
No, yeah, so
situation.
if you exchange, I'm threatening queen.
I think your king's more vulnerable than mine.
Bishop f1. I'll keep playing.
Okay.
Shouldn't work.
It's one of those positions
Actually,
that...
I could take on f6 first, but okay, I will let you go.
Yeah, it's one of those positions that you're playing on the light squares, and I'll grant you that, and I'm playing on the dark squares, and, you know, I wouldn't be surprised by a repetition. By the way, I wanted to go to the Mishra game because push him, baby. We left it about, no, there was knights on the board. There were some knights on the board. Check it out. D4, E4, knight F2 by John.
Yep.
Knight, ooh, that was,
Let's exchange.
That was a stunning maneuver, by the way. That knight got to the c5
It's
square.
remarkable. It's
Nice, right?
made it out, right?
And by the way, but we never want to allow d4 and e3. So Mishra, who, wow, I was about to say, went through the U.S. juniors unscathed, but he looks in terrible straits right now as he's desperate to try to make a perpet.
But after b7, c6, how you do
I don't think so.
it?
Do we go? No, a check and queen hangs our rook, right? So all we've got to do is trade a rook. I
Seems
think
nice.
Mishra is in desperate,
I feel
dire
like
straits.
Mishra spent all of his like energy
On the
during
juniors?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was. I talked to many juniors, and all of them complained how stressful the tournament is.
Exactly.
Because it's hardest to play when it comes to
Right.
like people who know you well, and then your age group, they always know you well.
Right.
And
Juniors were
everyone,
stressful for
yeah,
me. Yeah,
everyone was like, it's so stressful. Even girls, like, it's crazy.
True.
Very
And
unexpected results.
And on top of that, anytime there are those events that are qualifiers
yeah.
for something like the national championships, you know, the stakes are so much higher that you feel that nervous energy. And yeah, I think Mishra is suffering from the fact that he probably put his heart and soul
Absolutely, he
into
did.
the juniors, and he doesn't have enough energy. By the way, we do have a result, not unexpectedly. Dariusz, final position, we left it about these parts, queen g1, we thought it was over, and no tricks.
No tricks.
I mean, on the graveyard of the king's Indian defenses, you know, like there are bad things happen to the dragon, bad things happen to the Catalan, bad things happen everywhere. But in the graveyard of the king's Indian, there's these epitaphs on the headstones, and they say, "The attack failed." You know, why did you lose?
Sir, it did.
The attack failed. What we've got here is a failure. And it happens. The King's
exactly.
Indian, it failed.
I mean, whenever I lose a game, it's also, oh, I failed at doing something.
Yeah. You know, when I lose a game, it's because I gave it a rest. I didn't resign. Just
Give it a
decided it was
rest.
time. It was time to give it a rest.
We'll come back to it, right?
We'll come back to it. We've got other headstones that we can talk about. B7 by John Burke on the board as expected. Illia, well, I think Pranav decided that maybe his king needed
Now
to get
Ilya is
out of
listening to me.
Dangerous.
Thank you.
What do you think? What's going on here with Illia? Again, he comes into this round both undefeated, but also without victory. In other words, he drew all of his games. Pranav, on the other hand, he is in first place, tied for first.
Yeah.
And Illia, if he has any ambitions of winning first, this is the game that he has to do it. What's your take?
I think he's very ambitious about this game. And then he saw yesterday how Pranav is playing like messy positions,
Right.
and then he's not precise about them. Of course
Okay.
he's going to use it.
And so what do you think after this move? I'm sorry, this last move, rook d8.
And it's important to note that it's move 40.
Yes, that made
So
the
he
time
will
control.
get another like 30 minutes, and he's going to push it till the end.
Okay. Tell me, what do you think White should do here?
I was thinking about bishop c6.
Okay, let's go.
I was wondering, if you play like knight e5,
I'm
taking on
really,
f6, right?
really scared.
exactly. And then if you don't have a perpetual, which you do not, most probably,
I'm really
winning the game.
Yeah, I'm really scared to allow that. Here, I would, however,
Yeah,
toss in a check.
exactly. That's the most crucial move. King h2, queen d2,
check, right? Keep.
Probably queen e2 is more precise, so after king h3 you can check on f1.
Okay, king h3, queen f1, king h2, queen e2. Yeah.
You can take on f5 as well.
Yeah, I was just saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the huge problem of it. And I have.
So you play bishop c6, but
I
now
haven't
you can
seen
go
that.
bishop back to g2,
Yeah.
and you go, okay, you put your queen maybe on a square that's not so useful.
But queen b2 is my concern a little bit. Maybe, but like if you play queen b2, maybe I can do something.
Sorry,
else.
let me just refresh. Sorry, so we're looking at bishop c6, but bishop c6 inviting queen d1. Does black really have a threat at the moment?
Yeah,
Maybe it's useful.
I think black wants to play queen e5.
That's a question. Do you want to play queen e5? Like, okay, I can understand that maybe you want to play queen f5 or queen takes g3, but
I think
here-
I'm just trying to win the d6 pawn. I want to exchange on g3 and play knight e5, and then you cannot.
So I take on f6 in that case, and I take the h7 pawn.
And I
you
just
don't
take
think
on
that's,
d6, and then probably I will close
that's
draw.
not enough. So
It's not
what we're
enough.
talking about, everybody, is something of these nature where Begim says, I take on d6, and I probably make a draw because I've got a good blockade, and I don't disagree. I mean, it's a two-result
Or I can even
game.
improve it, like take on g3, then take on g5, and then play knight e5.
Is that an improvement? Let's say I wait. I'm just putting it. Are you sure that you can afford this?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Because king f4 is not working, knight d3 and rook d6.
Okay, king f4 is not working because of knight d3. Okay. Spidey sense is tingling a little bit there. Just a game I haven't seen in a little while, Benjamin Bach versus Sasi.
By the way, we
No
have
problem.
another result.
Do we?
Yes, in Group
Ooh.
B.
Tell me about it.
Batsurin just defeated Justin Wang. Justin is having a
Wow.
crazy tournament as well. He's getting the positions, and then somehow those positions are not going his way. And also, he just ended the juniors.
Yes, also
this
one of
is-
those exhausted junior players.
Yeah.
Knight b3, love it, no problem at all. No problem at all. I do feel a little cramped though for black. I would be more aspiring towards the move c5 because I think after d takes c5,
It's more in
I feel more comfy. I'm ready to play, bishop takes c5. He did not do that. He played knight b3, g5. Well, everything, finally c5, thank you. d5, is this well timed? Uh-oh. I mean, alert, there's a
Thanks, Brent.
combination. We had, in my time in the chess world, a guy by the name of Emery Tate. And Emery was very, very famous for saying, I smell tactics. And here we go. The tactics are
Coming.
coming. By the way, queen takes c4. Just let me play queen takes c4.
A very unpleasant position for black.
I'll show you my checkmating ability. No, this has gone wrong. This has definitely gone seriously wrong. Now we stop and we just say two bishops dominating the open file. This dark square bishop, all it needs to do.
So many weaknesses. Even
Yeah.
I can afford probably to transfer my bishop from e3 to
Once he gets on the long
d4,
diagonal, forget about it. It's
because
game
d6 is
over.
not actually hanging because bishop. This
Wow.
But we saw that he kind of made it to the.
I think
game.
somehow White cashed in his chips way too early. I thought he would get far more than he did.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that attack, that just looked really promising. And Justin, Yeah, this was the one where we left it.
Yeah.
I still like White's chances of winning.
But the problem is that the pawns are falling.
Yeah, you get the pawn to e7, you can give it a rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just too powerful.
This is a brutal game, I would say.
Oops. Yeah, and
You feel like you almost made it out,
Right.
almost protected
Right.
your like position, and then you're doing kind of well, and it's not enough.
I had one of those games, Anatoly Karpov, a great player, and Anatoly played brilliantly. I mean, he really played, in my opinion, one of the great masterpieces, strategic masterpieces. And around move 36, I thought I was going to resign.
Mm-hmm.
But in the last 4 moves of time control, he spoiled it terribly. And I fought my way back to what I thought was an even position. We adjourned
Mm-hmm.
the game. Then in the second time control, he completely outplayed me once again, and he won the game. Power to him, bravo. But it was one of those games I felt I lost it twice. I mean, it wasn't enough to lose it the first time around. I needed to lose it the second time around.
I have a feeling, Karpov, he traumatized many players like that.
Many players. Let's jump to Luca and Brandon, because that was that. Hey, and look, we got a kind of a deal. Yeah, okay, look at this.
This
Brandon
seems like
and
Brandon
Luca.
is not risking anything.
Right.
And also, Yasser,
Yes.
our players are here. I
Well,
will
let's
leave you
do
alone.
it. I got an interview. We'll miss you, Begim.
I'm sure you will.
Big time. Big time. As we get set for an interview, I'm just looking at the game of Luca and Brandon Jacobson. Obviously, Brandon has at least a perpetual in his pocket, but thanks to his king as well, maybe he even has ideas of setting up mating nets. Like, for example, a bad move for white, just a terrible move for white. Takes. And let's say c4, another terrible move for white. h7, or maybe it's not so terrible. I was about to play king here and king here, but I don't have the chance. Welcome. How was it today? Tell us about your game. Here, just a second. No, this was, what happened?
Yeah, it was, I think I was completely winning at some point, but I kind of messed it up so bad. But fortunately, I got back on track. It was not perfect, but at least to win it.
Take us through the game.
Yeah.
At what point does your preparation rather stop, or?
Yeah, kind of after e4, I just knew the position is completely playable, and then I just wanted to play. I mean, it's just simple chess.
Right.
No deep preparations. Just there's no minds playing chess.
Exactly, and this is one of those positions where both sides have every right to say, "I'm winning. Look, I have this great attack," and the other, but I'm a pawn up, and you like these types of double-edged games. 95.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me when you think something happened that was a surprise. For me, right here, the move knight b3 was a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
If I'm in black shoes, I'm more or less anxious to resolve the center. What did you think about the c5 move?
c5, I mean, c5 was always there, but
What was your intention?
I thought maybe after d5, I mean, I have to meet c5 with always d5, otherwise I'm just going to be worse.
Right.
Yeah, then it kind of looked like I had some attack there, so I just.
This was what you wanted.
Yeah.
This was basically still kind of
this
game
is
position.
Yep, this is the position I want to play. But after, I think rook e8 is also not so
common.
Yeah, that's a record, I think. I saw some lines, queen e8, I think.
Queen e8, somehow just getting out of this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I played some games with queen c8, which is a mistake because we want to bring the rook to d8.
Yes.
So queen e8 is
kind of makes some sense.
Yeah. Also queen e8 and the other rook to d8 is also makes sense. Yeah.
You're not sure. One of these rooks is going to get to
Yeah.
d8. We just don't know which one.
Yeah.
Let's see what happened in the game, because it was certainly an exciting game, and we thought that it was amazing that Justin could fight his way to bishops of opposite color. I think we just kind of came in around these parts, and we thought, wow, you're certainly winning.
Yeah.
And maybe this move is just not needed at this exact moment. Maybe all you need to do actually is just obviously get
Yeah.
the long diagonal,
Yeah.
and then the
I
question
mean,
is how to get on that long
Yeah.
diagonal.
Exactly.
Did you feel at this point that you had this game in
Yeah.
your pocket?
Yep. I know for sure I was winning. I thought, I mean, there's much easier way to win. I'm sure there was, but
Exactly.
yeah,
It just
maybe
feels like,
it feels like, I
you've
mean,
got everything
yeah.
ready to go, right?
yeah, my pieces are just completely dominating. But
If
maybe even bishop e6 is not needed. Maybe even
Well-
knight e6 was not not.
I love
practical.
everything you did right up to this point. If you
Yeah.
don't mind, a first suggestion to my mind is the bishop on e3 just needs a better life.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid, well, afraid is strong. I mean, I'm afraid that the open G file could be a cause of counterplay. But if I put the bishop on G3,
Yeah, then I can play f5 even. Yeah. Now it makes sense. Yeah, now it makes all the sense.
it just feels like, the moment you play E5 and, well, okay, if it really is going
Yeah.
great, okay. Okay, maybe you spoiled it a little
Yeah,
bit
bishop
here.
d5, I completely missed it.
That was my question. Did you?
Yeah, I did miss it.
Oh, what happens to you when you feel that moment like, oh no? Or
Yeah.
Did you panic?
Yeah, of course, yeah. After I played bishop c5, I got up and to get some drink or snacks,
Right.
and then I just kind of realized there were some deflections. Oh, there's some bishop d4 kind of deflection, and I just thought there's no way that's gonna work. And I mean, it worked, but it's kind of black's only chance, I guess.
Yeah.
Which I completely missed that.
Yeah. By the way, it's very, very good that you weren't at the board at the time you realized your blunder. Because sometimes you're at the board and you look, and you give your opponent a kind of a tell, right? Like,
yeah.
But now you're, in the back, you're taking a drink, and oh dear, I'm on a bishop d5. He doesn't see your reaction.
I played bishop d4 like I was completely expecting that.
Exactly. This is all a part of the program.
Yeah, exactly.
Good for you. Takes, check. And you're in this ending, and how did you feel? Did you feel your chances were high, or you were were you optimistic or pessimistic?
I was always optimistic about this kind of endgames, but I'm sure if he somehow get rid of the f6 pawn without, messing up the position too much, then he had some serious chances to draw. But now there's some discoordination
with the pieces.
with the pieces,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Well, when we saw that you could get your pawn to e7, we thought, okay,
Yeah,
then it's too late.
Yeah, then
It's gone. It's
Yeah.
gone.
If he had some kind of fortress with, maybe if his rook was on e6, maybe there is some chances. But I mean, the best square for the rook was on a6. But
Right.
maybe
So somewhere back here, if he had somehow got his rook to this e6
Yeah.
square, then he could. So did he ever have the chance to do that then? He threw in the move bishop f3. Maybe this was
Yeah.
just wrong.
yeah, bishop e2 maybe immediate was also there. Yeah.
Was better with the
Yeah.
idea, as you say. If he can get in the rook
Yep.
blockade, he's got something going on.
Now bishop d3 is coming also,
Right.
so I have to be careful about the e4 pawn. So there's, I saw some lines
fighting.
with king f2, bishop d3, then king f3, I guess. Yeah. Then my rook is somehow stuck, but also I have b3 at some point. But
Oh, yes, to undermine the bishop.
Yeah.
That's right.
But
It's still no fun for
for black.
black. I mean, black is still on the back foot, but yeah, that's a shocking move. The
Yeah.
bishop d5.
Yeah, bishop d5. I was like, oh, I messed this up so bad.
Could you recover? Thank you so much for
Okay.
joining us, and
Thank you.
make sure you come in again, huh?
Yeah.
Absolutely, to share your victories.
Thank you.
And we have more results as Luca and Brandon did make a draw, and we think that Brandon let one slip away. We left it about these parts, and he did get the double rook setup. Ooh, nice move by Luca. Rook takes c5, and a draw was agreed because, well, we're going to have to make a perpetual check.
Is it perpetual, yes?
I think so. Check. Check. Yeah,
Very
well,
good.
repetition. Perpetual check. Yeah, we would call this a repetition. as
I'm just
opposed to
checking.
just checking.
Just
checking.
checking.
Just checking. Yeah, that was a funny
Bishop
miss.
d5.
Bishop d5. Oh my God.
We were talking about it. It must be easier
Oh.
than that. He just missed it.
Exactly. Exactly.
What a nerve-breaking moment.
Oh, it sure is. Chandra Akshat's position. Oh, it's just so miserable. I mean, what's there to
Yasser
like?
doesn't even want to see the position.
No. It's like one of those, you're pawn down,
Yeah.
but your opponent has the better pieces to begin with.
And then it feels like you're pawn down and then your position is bad still. Like
Right.
it's just like hopeless, right?
But also the real problem is, as we know, one of the things that you like to do is counterplay. You want some
There's
counterplay.
nothing.
That's the thing. And how do you play when you don't know where your counterplay lies, and you don't even know what kind of a fortress you would like? Clearly, White's pawn on e5 makes it very simple
Very
from
strong.
White. All he needs to do is land the knight on the d6 square, and it's kasplat, and it's game over. So I do think
The thing is that
Arman
I
is
can just
well on
play
his way.
h4, maybe h5 or not, and then just move the king.
I
King
do.
f3, king e3, you don't have a move.
Exactly.
You cannot move your king because immediately knight f4 attacking on e6.
Right, any king moves. All right, so knight comes to f4, and it's terrible. Let's check out the other A group.
Yeah,
All right, and as we're looking, we've got a
very
winner
interesting
with
positions
Raunak,
there.
against Dariusz. Yeah, and well, Raunak will join us. We've got Benjamin Bach. Looks like Benjamin's suffering here, as this pawn on h3 really is nasty. And Mishra in really bad shape. Raunak, hi, welcome to the show. Come and take a seat. As I was explaining to the audience that there's a very big graveyard. It's a very big graveyard, and it's full of headstones, and it says it's the graveyard for the King's Indian. You know, and the headstone says the attack failed.
Yes.
Because very oftentimes if the attack doesn't succeed, well, strategically,
Yeah.
White has it.
Exactly.
Today, you played a very strong opponent.
Yes.
Tell us about your thoughts going into the game.
The result so far wasn't so great. Like I was on -1, so
Mhm.
I was in a fighting mood today.
Right. White
And seems like he was also in a fighting mode. He played fairly fighting opening,
pieces. Right.
e5. Yeah, instead of c3, actually, my
Oh,
file
sorry.
had d4. I knew that, but I couldn't remember further. So
Mhm.
I decided to play something more simple.
Right.
And this position looked very standard.
Right.
Yeah. Instead of d6,
Oh, I'm sorry. Instead of
I think
D6.
he could take ed4, knight d4, knight d4, bishop d4, and bishop f6.
Mhm.
But here it felt like, okay, if someone is better, it's white.
Exactly. You can put your bishop on f5, your knight on f3.
Yeah,
It's a
or knight on
little-
e3 in some cases.
Yeah, going this way, yeah.
Black should
Okay.
be fine, but white can put some pressure. So
By the way, just to clarify to everybody, this is the King's Indian that I'm talking
Yes.
about. Once you get the pawn to d5 and you get that type of structure. Very important move, a5. Tell us why you like it too.
yeah, I didn't even consider any other move because black's threat is to play a5 and consolidate, and then he'll push f5, and I think he's better. So I have to push a5.
Exactly. You kind of...
Yeah, this knight is in big trouble after
Right,
that.
it's just like hovering in air.
Yes.
And there's always a possibility that you can cut off its protection.
Exactly.
Yes? Okay. f5,
Yeah, knight e1, pretty standard, queen e8.
f3.
Yeah, I didn't like bishop h4.
What did you think you should do?
Looks very tough already because next move I want to go bishop c4 and protect the bishop, protect the rook with the bishop, and then I'm threatening bishop b6 and trapping the knight. So I didn't see what better he could do, but bishop h4 somehow felt off.
Okay. Yeah, it does have that feel that whatever he does, he's got to do it bang, bang. For me, I'm looking at the knight on g6, and excuse me when I have to say, well, the knight on g6 sucks. It's in the way of the queen. So if I could make a suggestion for him?
Yeah, here I was considering at least I have bishop f4 and e5, which is one option, but I wasn't sure if I would go for this.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say instead of this, the other option was like just make a move, yeah.
King h1.
Yeah, because I
something.
don't really see a threat. Queen wants to come to g6.
Yes, clear.
But still,
I mean, I'm there, but one thing I wanted to say about bringing the knight to f4, it's a rescue mission.
yeah, exactly. I think it's the way how he should proceed.
I'm afraid that the knight on b4.
Right.
If I could get rid of the knight on b4, the knight
Makes
on
sense,
e1, count me in.
Then he's talking.
But bishop h4, I think you're right. I think you've just pinpointed a moment where, well, this.
But I think
jump-
practically it wasn't easy for him. Like I had 1 hour and he had like 1 minute, so he just doesn't
Where
know
did
what
he
to play.
spend his time? From the opening?
Yeah, opening
ED4?
he spent like 27 minutes or something after like a very natural position.
Mhm.
And then where did he spend? Don't really remember so much, but
Tell me where you think his last chance.
yeah, there was a very nice instead of knight f4, like bishop e1 take, queen c3, knight c8, like knight f4, knight c8,
This knight,
the d knight.
the d knight.
I was
knight.
considering this, and knight f8 actually works here because queen f8,
Yes,
I have knight b6, and
and
knight d5, I can go king g1, and it's pinned.
you know, there was once I was watching a game between Michael Gurvich and Grandmasters. We had a situation exactly like this, and Michael Gurvich played the move King G1, and at the same time said the knight can't move because the bishop is on B3.
You must resign.
Yeah, and that forced him to resign. Okay, it didn't happen. Knight D3, queen,
Yeah.
check, knight F4.
Here I spent quite some time because I was not so sure. Like if I go bishop c4, also looks very standard, but
Right.
knight h4 looked like it can muddy the waters a bit.
Okay.
So I chose rook a2.
A
Just
very
keeping-
nice
yeah.
Defensive reaction along the second rank.
Yeah.
And
queen one.
apologies, I have to speed us up a little
Yep.
bit here, but essentially you're keeping bishop
Yeah.
on f1 just to make sure there are no tricks. But that doesn't stop him.
Yes.
He's coming. You know, sometimes you're playing an opponent who refuses.
Yeah, he has nothing to lose basically, so he can try all the tricks possible, I think.
And here he's trying everything. He's throwing the kitchen sink at you.
Yeah, knight c4 was I think very good, just keeping everything together.
Well, you certainly kept everything under control. At this point, the moment I saw rook a8, I thought, okay,
Now
that's
everything
it.
is
You know, because you're taking away an attacker.
Yes.
Very nice. You kept your composure, kept everything under control.
Yeah.
It's what I would call a confidence-building victory, yeah?
Yes, now 4 more games and I'm still in the fight for the top place, so looking
Exactly.
forward.
Lovely. How do you like St. Louis?
Oh, it's wonderful. I've
Yeah.
been here once before,
Yeah.
and this is my second time.
Enjoying it, huh?
Yeah,
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for coming.
Thank you.
Hopefully we'll see you more.
thank you.
Thank you. And let's just go to the game, one of our marquee matchups, Illia. Where are you? Where are you, Illia? Akshat? No, sorry. I've got the wrong tab open. When we left Begim, welcome back. When we left it, you know, Illia was a pawn up, but we always thought that Black had, well, I want to say not full compensation, but it was going to be very hard. Yeah, good compensation. And we got this position.
I told you. If you get it, it's a draw.
Yeah, and this is a kind of a fail because the problem is the 3 pawn islands.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm not a fan of taking on f6.
Yeah, if this pawn is on from h4 is on g5, this bishop, for argument's sake, is on h3. There's some chances here. This one I don't believe in, and by the way, neither did Illia because they just stopped right here.
Yeah.
This is a draw agreed, and it was
I think he started to get scared of knight e5, queen d6, these ideas.
Yep.
And also, Pranav had enough time to think about the position and his chances. And yesterday he swindled.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
probably Illia didn't want that today.
Right. For Pranav, I want to say this was a very big test.
Yeah.
He's black against, in my opinion, one of the really, really strong players
He's a
in
very
the field.
tricky too.
Exactly. And, you know, he survives and he puts him in great contention in the championship rounds. I want to jump to Benjamin Bach. I don't like this position for white. This
too.
alpha 0 pawn
This
on
is a cute
h3.
picture.
I was like, oh, why did I allow this pawn,
Exactly.
you know, to be
I
on my
love Black's
throat?
position, and then if I'm able to like play g5 and then f5, you are like.
Oh, don't even think about it. I just resign. So here's the question for you. What do you think about the move f3?
Do you want to sack the pawn?
I don't want to sacrifice the pawn. Who do you think I? The problem.
You're offering me. Would you like to take it or play f5?
Right.
as I
If you
understand?
play take, well, f5, you're doing me the greatest favor. I'll tell you why. Because in my opinion, this pawn on g4. Oops, excuse me. This pawn on g4 is a potential target. You can always go rook, rook, eat, right?
Absolutely.
So here, I'm not saying I'm drawing the game or anything like that. On the contrary, I don't like my position. At least I'm fighting my way back.
Yeah.
The problem for me is that if you play after f3 takes, I have to play king f1, and you play rook here, and you go check. I have to play here, and I don't like it. But from the very beginning, the problem for me, Begim, is that after f3 you play this move.
Yeah.
That's really a nasty move.
Weaknesses.
Yeah, right? I think Benjamin could simply be strategically losing.
I feel like Benjamin wasn't inspired to play today after yesterday's game. I think this is the biggest issue, not the position.
Yesterday, you just feel like...
He just lost. You know, he was having a great tournament, and then after that loss, I feel like he just lost his motivation.
Well,
And then it's hard to coach,
to
show
come back.
show up and actually play.
Yeah, come back after a heartbreaker like that. The other thing is f3 is not working.
Yeah.
So a second possibility for Benjamin as a way of defense is you need to get your king out of the back rank.
I know
Mate.
it's weird, but could we
So-
play king g1 and rook a1?
I know. In the sense
Just
that
to try.
you set up for this, right?
Yeah, and then
Okay.
most probably I'm gonna lose h2 pawn and then exchange b to a pawn.
Well,
And
anything.
just try to hold that position, maybe.
Right. This is what I meant when I was saying that the pawn on g4 for me is a target. So whenever I see f5,
You're happy.
I'm, well, happy is relative. At least you get a grateful thanks. You can see more clearly
Yeah.
why I think the pawn is vulnerable once you see
So
king
far,
g6 and
it
g.
seems like it's totally lost, unfortunately.
It feels like Sasi is in great shape. A game I'm kind of surprised isn't over because we thought that John Burke was winning easily. It was against Mishra. Mishra's still in there. He's throwing the patties. I don't know exact. We left it right here.
Right
and
here. Yeah.
And it looked overwhelming. But Mishra said, okay, I've got some tricks.
Mhm.
Don't think you can just take
Take
my
it.
pawn.
Rook c2 seems winning, though.
Right, borrowing up.
You're
page from the
attacking.
King's
and
Indian.
I'm
Yeah, exactly. Let's dance.
That's interesting. You suggested rook f8, which would meet, which was met with rook f1.
Yes.
Now he's making the rook to stay on c2 and then playing rook f8.
Yeah, but the difference is the pawn is on h3,
Yeah.
so that's
Now
a
queen
favorable.
b3 and like b8 works.
Exactly.
Unlike that position we were talking about.
A moment ago. But yes, we've got everything
Two queens on the
covered.
board.
There's no perpet. There's no perpetual check because the
There's no.
queen is patrolling this beautiful
Queen
diagonal.
e5 should be winning, no? Immediately
Definitely.
centralize the queen.
Exactly. Anytime you have these opportunities of a very powerfully centralized queen. Queen e5 check followed by rook takes g2. That looks
Maybe queen
very
h6,
simple.
king g3, queen e3, queen g4, queen
just a
f3.
second.
That was
Tell us what you're thinking.
I was thinking maybe you go with the king. The problem is that you gotta go to the back rank, right?
Okay.
The idea is that if you take on g2, then queen h6,
Okay.
and then it's not easy, queen e3. If you play king g4, then queen f3, so you gotta play king h4, check on h6 again, king g4. I think
No
still,
perpet.
queen on e5 is lovely.
That's the whole point. What you pointed out from the very beginning. The queen on e5 dominates all kinds of checks.
Usually, when, in such situations, I try not to calculate that much. I'm like, queen has to
E5,
stay,
yeah.
you know? Has
Queen goes
stay.
to a good square. Let's see what John's technique is. He's simply saying, well, you know what? I'm just going to walk my king across
And
the
this
board.
is also absolutely winning position. for
Absolutely
sure.
winning. Absolutely winning. And for John, he suffered because yesterday he had a game against Nikolas that turned around. John was actually, if he hadn't played the queen d6, if he had played the queen e7 idea, he
You
might
have to
be
listen to me
he might be completely
in a different situation. Right?
so he, John Burke, that is to say, he showed up to play today, unlike Benjamin, and you know he's doing it in a tough circumstance that he lost a winning game yesterday. We expect King D1. Ooh, he played Rook
I
E2.
expect resignation very soon. King is
Yeah.
escaping.
You can see from our webcams that Mishra is really
Mishra-
suffering.
Absolutely, he's not happy. Abhimanyu is.
So we might see a number of victories here. We have one already. By the way, the interviewers, a big shout out to the players, and I mean that sincerely. When you're in a tournament, it's like you're so focused. You've got tunnel vision. It's all about the tournament. It's all about your preparation. It's all about getting in the nutrition. It's all about getting in your exercise. You don't want to hear there's a birthday party, and you don't want to hear come for an interview.
Absolutely.
So our thanks to the players for being cooperative and joining us,
That's
even if it's a
lovely
short
to have
while.
them, absolutely. And then I do believe many of them are happy to be interviewed. They are excited about it, especially with you, Yasser.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if I were them, if I were in their shoes, I'd say, Get Yasser out of there. I want
Trust me,
to
someone
talk to
can try.
Begim. I want to talk to her, not to that guy. I mean, let's go. But in any case, John's looking great here as he puts on the finishing touches, and we saw.
It's
Is
just
queen
upsetting
C5?
to see players losing.
Now, another thing why I really like your move Queen E5 much earlier is not only because it protected our king, which was great, but it also means that the opposing queen doesn't get to play moves like Queen C5.
It's
Again,
just
I'm a rook up.
controlling the whole
The whole board, right?
It's
Yeah.
such a lovely move. You just make it.
I know. You just make here. Well, I'm not one for trading pawns or anything like that. Here, I would be very much inclined to playing the move Rook C2 if I could.
And to be honest, I think Queen B8 is immediately winning.
Even Queen B8, King G7.
Queen
yeah.
C7.
Yep. And I can't
Yep.
walk into
I need to activate my queen. Queen D8.
D8.
D8?
Sorry. Yes.
Queen D7.
Yep.
Queen E6.
Yep.
And then just take on E4.
Simple. I like that. I like
Queen
that.
on E4 is great.
Yeah, this we kind of call it a stairway, a series of checks where the queen comes in. No, I mean whether the queen is on E5 or whether the queen is on E4, centralized squares.
I'm gonna control everything.
Exactly.
And then after taking on E4, especially with the king on G7, if he's gonna check a lot at some point, I can play Queen E5 or Queen D4.
Interposing. So
Yes.
for something like just to repeat what Begim is saying, is that whenever you get the check, you can interpose. Yeah,
Interposing.
nice. Nice. So John is well on his way. Again, we think Benjamin had to, because the F3 ideas were not working, he wants to play King A1, and on a good day, he's hoping that he could trade this pawn.
I think I love you. I think, as you said, you mentioned, I love your idea. King F7, King G6 is winning because he's not on time to play A4, A5 and control the G5 square.
Right. Just let's see it. Just go down the primrose path because it's so darn forcing, right?
F5. I'm mating you, Yasser.
You're checkmating me?
And then Rook G3, you're checkmating.
Who's checkmating whom? Checkmating.
That is not easy.
Well, you get the H2 pawn. It might just be easy.
Rook C1.
Yeah.
I wonder I can play F3. Takes Rook H. No, I cannot play.
No.
The endgame is lost.
Yeah. It might just be that the
Yeah,
H
it
pawn is
just
too
lost.
far, too fast, type of thing. And it's a very, very, very forcing line.
Maybe he will blunder like F5 and Rook G3.
Ooh. Finally, once again, we have the game between Arman and Akshat. It's really, really tough sledding here for Akshat.
It's a depressing situation.
Depressing. But put Black out of his misery. How would you go about technique? What's your technique here?
With Black?
No, with white, of course. I'm not gonna.
I'm like, wait a second.
I'm not
what kind
gonna
of
suffer
technique do
that.
you want me to show with
No,
Black?
no, I don't
I
want.
was actually thinking of Knight F4,
Okay.
H5, Knight H3. So yeah, I'm threatening to play Knight G5, and you must come back with your king on F7, right? So my idea was to make you play H6,
Right.
and then
Provoke.
come back, provoke H6, and come back on F4 and Knight G6.
Exactly. Okay.
But the
So-
problem is that you can play Rook C6 instead of King F7.
Let's remind everybody what has happened already in this round 5. We take a quick gander at the standings. Begim,
Yep.
do the honors.
Standings for Group A so far.
There's still one game remaining,
Yes,
but go on.
we still have one game going, which is Akshat versus Arman. Others, Pranav made a draw today, And so far, he's a leader with 3.5 points. Nikolas Theodorou also tying for fourth with 3.5 points. John Burke most probably is gonna win the round.
Right.
Illia Nyzhnyk 2.5, and there is a huge tie for fourth. We're gonna see what will happen, and let's
take a look
Take a
at
look to
the
the
B group. Well, in the B group, by the way, Andrew Hung sitting pretty in the first place. How sweet it is.
It is. As we mentioned already, the game between Akshat and Arman is still going, but it seems like Arman is doing well. If that's the case, then Andrew Hong is going to be the solo leader after 5 rounds, and then tie for the second, Lomasov, Chandra, and Batsuran and others are sharing fourth place so far.
Marvelous. As we get prepared to bid a fond adieu, I did want to bring you back because I had you under the microscope there for a moment. You liked the move knight f4, and guess what?
He played
He
it.
did it. He did. He did. These guys
When
are
do
good.
people listen to me?
They're good.
They're
good. Knight f4, and what can I say? I hate walking into your idea. I think that that's a very powerful idea that you want to see him play h6 so you can go back and go knight here. So I can't play ball. I have to go back with my rook to e6.
And the problem with rook c6 is knight h5.
Knight h5, which immediately and
You cannot protect. Knight g7 still.
let's just stop, pause here for just a moment, because the knight, however long it is, it's temporarily a little bit inconvenient.
f4.
Okay, and
Yasser, I will let you check me once.
nope, it's not. So it's terrible. Essentially, the desirable rook c6 walks into knight h5, and king f7 walks into knight h3, and
Maybe
I think that is killing.
Yeah, maybe that's the time to play rook c6. Maybe it feels like it, but the problem is that knight g5, and then h7 is hanging.
As well as e7
As
is
well as
on
E7.
tap as well.
It seems like if he finds knight h3, he's winning.
Yes, and I suspect he will. However, yesterday we have left a game that was completely winning for Benjamin. We were shocked when the result went the opposite way. By the way, again, this is a big game. Akshat, he came into this round with high expectations. If he loses his grip on first place. But we will see tomorrow as we get ready to close our show. We want to say that thank you so much for joining us each and every day. You're welcome to join us at 4 o'clock Central Time here in St. Louis. And there's a thing you can do for us, a nice favor. Tell everybody, tell your friends where you're hanging out. Subscribe to the St. Louis Chess Club and tell them a little bit more about the social
absolutely.
media. Tell them how
Follow
they can.
our St. Louis Chess Club. We will have all the information about the tournament and more.
Right. And isn't there a way that they can subscribe or something?
Yeah, following, subscribing is the same. Subscribe is like for YouTube,
Okay.
TVH. Do
Okay.
that too.
Thank you so much for joining us, and Begim. Wow,
Thank you, Yasser.
You're doing
I'll see you
great, baby.
tomorrow.
We'll
Thank
see you
you.
tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow as well. Good night,
See you.
everyone.
This has been a presentation of the St. Louis Chess Club. Any reproduction or distribution of this content without the express written consent of the St. Louis Chess Club is prohibited.